I guess, I mean, the main thing is that, you know, I'm working in different ways. I was kind of working in a very lo-fi thing. I was just working with a little sampler, it's very limited. So now I guess I'm just kind of, I know more about the studio process and how to actually record things from the ground up, like sticking microphones in front of things a little bit more. You know, it's a different process these days.
Why do you need it?
No, I'm definitely always listening to what's around. You know, that's the main influence, is just kind of the palette of sounds that I'm interested in at the minute. That's kind of what's important to me the most. But I'm also, you know, I think I can't help but sound like myself within that, so whatever happens, I'm always going to have some kind of aspect of my own sound in there.
Like the first fire, running for the fences you don't have to pretend.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, because I guess working on my own, there's not, you know, sometimes there needs to be someone there to tell me when to stop. So, but I don't really have that, so I can just go, you know, and spend like 4 hours on my hi-hat quite easily without anyone sort of going, you need to move on, do something else now. So yeah, it can take a while. I mean, some tunes can just kind of fall out in one day, and some, you know, we sort of like grafting on them for months. So it takes a little while.
Don't even fight it. Leaves fall.
I think it's kind of an evolution of the previous stuff. I mean, I've kind of been moving away from the sort of more jazzy live, down-tempo kind of end of it, and working with more sort of, you know, like sound processing and getting more electronic with it, and just using more kind of Foley recording and just more processing and trying to sort of create something from a more kind of sound design perspective.
Yeah. Like the first fire, running for the fences you don't have to pretend.
Well, yeah, I mean, I knew that Badu was going to be, you know, she was into it, and we've been talking a lot last year, so it was just a case of finding the right track when I started working on that beat. It was kind of reminiscent of the stuff that she'd done with Madlib on her album, so I wanted to, I guess, I think that it was kind of a nod to some of her work with Madlib on the, what's it, the New America Part 1 record, so I wanted to kind of, you know, acknowledge that a little bit. So yeah, when I started making that beat, I knew that was going to be the one that was going to send her. I think, to be honest, it's like, I mean, it's the way it's presented rather than, you know, it being out there. There's this whole sort of structured kind of way of how we're gonna, you know, launch this campaign, and I think that just gets scuppered when somebody leaks it. I mean, it's not really about, I mean, once your record's out, it gets leaked anyway. It's, you know, everyone's gonna do it. But the fact that sort of threw out our whole kind of plan. But we brought the release, so we kind of like rushed the release date forward. And we had like all these videos ready to go and all this other stuff that we were going to do, which we just kind of couldn't do because this dude in the radio station decided that it was going to come out. Well, yeah, the Baraka's kind of, it's I might bring it back. It's a side project, but the idea of it was to more, it's kind of like heavier, rawer, more kind of dance floor stuff, which I think, you know, I'm trying to sort of consolidate that into the actual Bonobo stuff now a little bit more. So, but I might do it. I might sort of bring that Baraka's thing back for a record or two. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's not. I don't really see it as a sort of live versus electronics. It's all in there together. I think that's the way I kind of approach music generally. I'm not sort of, you know, if this is a live part and this is an electronic part. It's just kind of sounds that some of them come from Ableton, some of them coming from a drummer. So it's a real, you know, it kind of beds in together. But yeah, I mean, when I'm sort of DJing, it's very different. It's more about the dance floor and the party, whereas this live show is, you know, it's a sort of performance of kind of rehearsed parts. There's a 10-piece at the minute. It keeps kind of shrinking, and bits get added on and people drop off. So I mean, we've got horn section and string section at the minute, but I mean, you know, people are just sort of jumping on the tour and jumping off it, so it's always kind of changing depending on which town you catch it in.
Honestly, I can't believe it's burning down.
I don't know, I think First Fires, because it's very sort of, you know, it's not a kind of tune you can really play anywhere else. It's a very sort of, you know, very sort of dramatic tune. And I think visually it kind of works really well. So it's a nice one to play.